Hey everyone, Julia from Sunday Sounds here. In this video, we're going to take a look at our song-specific patch designed in the style of the song you see on the screen. I'm going to demonstrate this song patch in its original key and at its original tempo. You can change the key you play or hear the song patch in by using Easy Transpose, and you can change the tempo as well. Details on how to adjust both the key and the tempo are included in your download. For this video, I'll be demonstrating the MainStage version of this song-specific patch. If you purchase the Ableton Live version, you'll be able to use this video to follow along just the same, seeing as the hand positions, song sections, layer ranges, and sound of the patch are the same. In MainStage, you'll use your mod wheel to move through the various song sections. In Ableton, you'll use the macro knob labeled Song Section. Be sure to check out the full demo video for this song patch to see all the parts and sections in order and how we move the song section control throughout the song. This patch has piano, pads, bass, and organ all triggered in the left-hand range, which stretches from here up to here. Most of your sounds will be triggered in this lowest left-hand octave. Then, when the song section control is at 1/3 or above, you'll hear an organ sound in this upper left-hand range. There's a piano sound from this note all the way up to this note. So you'll want to keep your chords in that range. Then there's a synth lead sound from this note up the rest of the keys. You'll start the song with the song section control all the way down for your intro, down verse, turnaround, and down bridge. At 1/3 is the chorus, turnaround, medium verse, and medium bridge. At 2/3 is the medium chorus and the building bridge. And all the way up is the big bridge, chorus, and refrain. And remember that whether you're in MainStage or Ableton Live, these positions are the same. For the intro, you're going to have the song section control all the way down. You'll play octaves in the left hand and chords in the right hand. Now this intro is super simple. You're just going to hold out the one chord of your key for a total of 4 bars. For this part, you can reattack that note at the beginning of each bar if you'd like, or what I like to do is either just hold it out or reattack on the 3rd bar. For the down verse, you'll have the song section control all the way down. You'll play octaves in the left hand and chords in the right hand. Here's how I like to voice these chords. And those are the only 3 chords in this first verse. Super simple. For the medium verse, you'll have the song section control at 1/3. And you'll start by playing single notes in the lowest octave of the left hand. Then halfway through, you'll bring in that upper octave to bring in that organ sound. Again, I like to voice my chords the same way. There are a couple additional chords in this section, like this one, and this one. Just be sure to watch the demo to see that part in context. For the chorus, you'll have the song section control at 1/3. You'll play octaves in the left hand and chords in the right hand. Here's how I like to voice the chords for this section. So those are all of the chords for this section. Here it is with both hands in context. Then you'll just repeat that chord progression one more time for the rest of the chorus. The next time you play the chorus, it will be a medium chorus, so you'll have the song section control at 2/3, and you'll play everything the same way. The next time you play the chorus, it will be a big chorus, so you'll have the song section control all the way up, and you're going to play everything the same way for this part too. Now, at the beginning of this chorus, there is a dropout for the entire first line. Now, depending on how your band decides to play this song, you may decide not to have this dropout, or you may want to continue playing just simple piano chords or something light. If this is the case, you can always bring your song section control all the way back down and just play simple chords down here. But what I like to do in the recording is just drop out entirely and then come in on that minor 6 chord. Then at the end of this chorus, there is a short tag where you'll repeat the last line 2 more times. For the first time you play the turnaround, you'll have the song section control at 1/3. You're going to play single notes in the low octave of your left hand and simple chords in your right hand. This is what that part sounds like. The second time you play the turnaround, you'll have the song section control all the way down. This time you're going to play octaves in the left hand and a synth lead in the right hand. There's also an additional chord at the end. So you'll go from 1 to the flat 7 to the 4 and then back to that flat 7 chord. Here's the synth lead that you'll be playing on top of this part. I'll play it slowly. Now this part is pretty quick, so it can be kind of difficult to play this over the top of the chords. I recommend learning this part really slowly, practicing it a lot, and then getting it up to tempo. I'll play it really slowly with both hands. And then that chord progression will repeat one more time. Here it is with both hands at tempo. Now you may check to see if anyone else in your band is playing this part, like the bass player or one of the guitar players. If no one else is playing this part, then you may decide to modify this to make it easier. One modification I would suggest is to just stay on these 3 notes and just play this over and over. This part is a lot easier to remember and you don't have to move your hand around while you're playing because you stay on just 3 notes. Now, like I said, if anyone else in the band is playing this part, then you'll either want to play it exactly like the original recording or not play it at all if it's too difficult. However, like I said, if you practice this part really slowly and get it up to tempo, you should be able to nail this part. Later in the song, you will play the turnaround again. For this part, you will also have the song section control all the way down. You'll be playing that same synth lead in your right hand, and your left hand will be playing the same chords. However, instead of holding out the chords, you're going to be playing what I like to call low stabs, where you'll play the notes short and quick, and there'll just be 2 at a time, like this. Now, the pattern for these low stabs does get a little bit tricky. For the first measure, you'll just play 2 notes, one right after the other. Then we're going to move to our flat 7 chord. Now on this chord, you're going to play the stabs a little syncopated. So instead of playing on the 1, 2, you're going to play on the and. The same with the rest of the measures. Now, if you're not playing this with a click or a metronome of some kind, it can be kind of hard to hear the difference between these parts. But when you pair it with the right hand, who is playing 16th notes throughout all of the measures, it is a little bit easier to hear where those stabs sit. Here I'll play one time through the chord progression with both hands slowly. Now again, because the right hand part is so intricate, it can be kind of hard to line up that left hand part with the right hand 16th note run. Like I said before, you can always do that modification where you just play these 3 notes throughout the entirety of those 4 bars. But if you really want to try and learn this, I'll teach you a trick for how I keep my left and right hand together. So I like to line up the stabs in the left hand with what note I'm going to play in the right hand. The beginning is easy because you start on the bottom note, right? Then as you move to the next note, I like to remember what note I'll be playing it on in this hand, and that is this upper note right here. So the first 2 measures sound like this. So the second 2 notes will be played on this note and that note. I'll play it one more time. Then as I move to my next chord, it'll be on the same note whenever I play this note with my middle finger. And then I just have to remember to return back to the downbeat when I go back to that 1 chord. Here's all 4 measures really slowly. So this technique will help you to keep your hands together if you really learn and practice that right hand part and get it down to where you don't have to think about that, then it'll be easier to play that left hand in time. So for this turnaround, you're going to play 4 times through this chord progression in total. For the down bridge, you're going to have the song section control all the way down. You're going to play low stabs in your left hand, sticking on this 1 chord, and a synth lead up high in your right hand. Now, we broke this part down really well in the turnaround section, so if you haven't watched that part of this tutorial, definitely go back and check that out. Now, I'll go over what the right hand lead sounds like one more time for you. And your left hand is going to be playing low stabs in the same pattern that we learned for the turnaround, but you're just going to stay on this 1 chord. So here's what it sounds like with both hands. So you'll play 4 times total of that pattern. Then once we move to the medium bridge, you'll move the song section control up to 1/3. And for this part, your right hand will be playing the same thing. Your left hand will still continue playing those low stabs, but you'll move from the 1 chord to the flat 7, to the 4, and then back to the flat 7, just like we did in the turnaround. You'll play 2 times through the chord progression for that part. Then for the building bridge, you're going to move the song section control up to 2/3. For this part, you're going to continue playing that synth lead in the right hand, but your left hand is just going to hold out the chords in this range. Now for this part, the chords do change slightly, so you'll play 1, flat 7, and then you'll just go down 1 note to play that 4/6, and then back to the flat 7, and you'll play 2 times through this chord progression as well. Then for the big bridge, you'll move the song section control all the way up. You'll again just hold out octaves in your left hand and play the synth lead in your right hand. Now, like I mentioned in the turnaround section, this synth lead part can get pretty intricate, and it's pretty difficult to play when you're playing it really fast. And since you play it throughout the entire bridge, it can really wear your hand out. So I recommend learning this part slowly and getting it up to tempo. Or if you want to modify this part, if you're the only person in your band playing this part, you can just stick on these 3 notes and just alternate that part. The bridge does come back later in the song. For this part, you'll have the song section control all the way down. You'll start by just playing the low stabs on that 1 chord in your left hand. Then halfway through this down bridge, you're going to bring in the synth lead on your right hand again. Then we're just going to build the bridge the same way that we did before. We'll bring the song section control up to 1/3, play octave stabs in the left hand and the synth lead in the right hand. Then we'll bring it up to 2/3 for the building bridge. For this part, you'll again hold out the left hand on those octaves as the chords change. Play the synth lead in your right hand. Then we're going to play a refrain and a big bridge at the very end. Now for this part, you'll bring the song section control all the way up, but then the chords do change. So instead of playing the synth lead in your right hand for this part, I like to bring my hand down and play the actual chords for this section. Here's what those chords are. Start with a 1, then a minor 5, then this chord, and this one. And that's your chord progression. For this part, I do like to pulse my right hand, maybe on the 8th notes or the quarter notes, just to help fill the space and build the section. And you'll play 4 times through this progression for the refrain, and then 4 times through for the bridge. And then you'll end on a 1 chord and slowly bring the song section control back down. Be sure to watch the full demo video to see all these parts in order and how we move the song section control throughout the song. Song-specific patches work best in the Sunday Keys template for MainStage and Ableton Live. Sunday Keys gives you all the sounds and tools you need to play live worship keys, and all of our song-specific patches integrate seamlessly with Sunday Keys. You can learn all about Sunday Keys for MainStage and Ableton Live on our website. Thanks for checking out this song-specific patch. I'm Julia with Sunday Sounds, and I'll see you next time.